E.N.D here from my archives, Rivals of Ixalan, second box of Rivals of Ixalan. Rivals of Ixalan is the second set in the Ixalan block. Ixalan is the main set, while Rivals of Ixalan is the subset. Unfortunately, not a very good received set. During that time, the Ixalan block came after Kaladesh and Amonkhet with their inventions and invocations, while Ixalan didn't have anything extra. No masterpieces, no full-on lands, nothing at all. Just dinos, vampires, and merfolks. When the set was released, I bought a case, cracked some boxes, and recorded those particular box opening. And today is the perfect time to release this type of footage. Let's start opening this beauty of a box. Remove the seal. It's really nice remembering opening these boxes. Nowadays, Rivals of Ixalan has quite a hefty price. I think it's around $160 to $100, which is not cheap. Really, it's not cheap. Reason being, as I said, not a very good received set. Print run was cut, distribution was stopped, and therefore there are not a lot of boxes out there of this particular set. First rare, silent, stone. Let's see if we can pull some good. Dire Fleet, Daredevil, that's a very good rare card. Even during that time, it's a very good rare card. And there's a Chupacabra, a very good uncommon card during that time. The chase cards, during that time, the chase card was Kumena, the Merfolk Lord, the legendary creature. Kumena was around $25–30. Hefty price during that time. There's Galta, yes, there's Galta, one of the legendary dinosaurs, elder dinosaurs. I was saying that the chase cards of the set during that time was Kumena. Nowadays, things are different. There's Zagama, very strong commander card, around $35–40. Twilight Prophet, another very good commander card, with a price tag of around $30. There's the Mortal Sun, there's E.N.D, and also there's the Polymorph Raptor. So those are the chase cards. And there's the Mortal Sun, yes, Immortal Sun. A very expensive card. Even during that time, I think the price tag of that card was around $15 to $18. Not a cheap card. Nowadays, with all the Planeswalkers that War of the Spark released, the Mortal Sun is a very strong card. With all Planeswalkers that the game has, it's a very strong card. That's a nice box opening. Seeing these packs being cracked. As I said, Rivals of Ixalan, very expensive set, around $160 to $100. There's another Elder Dinosaur, the red Etali, the red one. Not a very expensive card nowadays. Even during that time, I don't remember that card was very expensive. Let's see what we have. Foiland. Another thing, Rivals of Ixalan, yes, foils were still expensive. Hidden Climb were still expensive. Nowadays, different collector booster boxes with all the foils out there. Pulling a foil card, even in mythic rarity, doesn't cost nothing. Sometimes the non-foil is more expensive than the foil card. During that time, as I said, things were different. Pulling a foil mythic, it meant that the price of that particular card, there's Nizal, another elder dinosaur. Pulling a foil mythic cards, it means that it was 3 times the price of the non-foil. So if you have a mythic card that was valued, let's say $20, the foil version was around $60. There's another dinosaur, form of the dinosaurs. Ixalan, the Ixalan block, will be more remembered for the dinosaurs, the vampires, and the merfolk. It was a nice idea having these 3 creature types fighting each other, battling each other for the Mortal Sun. And there was also Jace and Vraska. There was Angrat, and I think there was another Planeswalker called Huatli. All of them fighting each other for the Mortal Sun, which at the end of the story of Rivals of Ixalan, Tezzeret took the Mortal Sun and the story arc. There is Rekindling Phoenix. Let me stop here. Rekindling Phoenix, a mythic card that was one of the most expensive cards in that set during that time. It was a very good card. It was played everywhere in RDW Red Deck Win. it was a very good, as I said, it was a very good card, but it was a very difficult card to deal with, because let's say you will destroy the card, destroy Rekindling Framing, you will create that token, and then at the beginning of your upkeep you will bring Rekindling Feelings back. So, and let's say the truth, during that time there weren't a lot of, let's say, graveyard removal, that much cards of graveyard removal. So Rekindling Feeling was a very difficult card to deal during that time, and that's why RDW was one of the most successful decks during that time in Standard. There's a Merfolk, there's Kumena. I'm sorry about the setup. Really true, I'm sorry about the setup. As I said, I recorded them quite time ago. Kumena was the most expensive card during that time. Nowadays it's much cheaper, I think it's around $6, maybe less. But Kumena was the most expensive card during that time. There was a lot of hype regarding Merfolks. There's the Talpa, another elder dinosaur. The Immortal Sun eventually ended up in the hands of Nicol Bolas, and the War of the Spark, let's say the War of the Spark arc started with the Immortal Sun being in the hands of Nicol Bolas. And you have to remember also that the Immortal Sun was used by Nicol Bolas on Ravnica to lock the Planeswalkers on that particular plane, because that was the power of the Immortal Sun. There's another Merfolk, Seafloor Oracle. As I said, this set, it's all dinosaurs, it's all Merfolks, it's all vampires. Another dinosaur, quite big dinosaur, 8/5. Was very difficult to play this particular card, but I think I remember someone on Magic Arena, I think Rivals of Ixalan, yes, was in Magic Arena in the beginning, in the beta stage, playing that particular card. There's another Mistbinder. There's a nice human shaman. Humans under their champion was Huatli. Huatli was a planeswalker. Planeswalkers on Ixalan couldn't planeswalk on other planes because of the Immortal Sun. So there was Huatli, there was Angrat. They were, let's say, stuck on this particular plane. And then, after the defeat in Hour of Devastation, Jace Beleren ended up on this plane. And thanks to the help of Vraska, there was a little bit of, let's say, romantic story regarding Vraska and Jace. Thanks to the help of Vraska, Jace Beleren managed eventually to planeswalk away from Ixalan. But obviously the reason was that Nicol Bolas got the Immortal Sun, and therefore Ixalan wasn't locked more because of the Immortal Sun. Let's continue opening this box. It's a nice seeing these specs being correct. I still remember pulling those cards. I still have some of those cards. I usually keep the most, let's say, the most expensive cards in my collection. I usually sell, let's say, the least expensive cards, the least in cost-wise cards, and then I keep the most cards that I like. I keep them in my collection, and I still have Curious Obsession. I still have those cards, those flip cards. I really like them. Not very expensive, but I really like them. I still have, I think, my Rekindling Phoenix. I still have Kumena. I still have Zagama, the Immortal Sun. I still have all those cards in my collection. I don't have any intention of selling those cards. Let's see what we have in this pack. Tomb Robber, nothing special. As you can see, I think you noticed, and I already discussed, that pulling foil cards is quite rarer compared to today's standards. Today is just one in every 3 packs, so you pull a lot of mythics, sorry, a lot of foils. But during that time, pulling a foil was more difficult than today. Journey to Eternity. That was a quite interesting card. It was quite valued during that time. Nowadays, I think it doesn't have a lot of value, but during that time it was quite valued. Wayward Swordtooth, another valued card. Even today, I think it's around $8 to $10. At the end, Rivals of Ixalan became quite a strong set. As I said, the set was discontinued because it wasn't a successful set. Honestly, it wasn't a successful set. A lot of complaints about this set. Unfortunately, Ixalan came after, as I said, Kaladesh and Amonkhet. Kaladesh had the masterpieces, the inventions, the most beautiful masterpieces I think out there. And Amonkhet had, there's Huatli, one of the Planeswalker, Radiant Champion. I don't think it saw a lot of play, that particular card, but it's a mythic and it's a Planeswalker. I was saying that Amonkhet had the invocations, the masterpieces, the so-called Yu-Gi-Oh masterpieces. Must admit, very difficult to read. I think the choice of the character was wrong. It was very difficult to read. And then, after the complaints of Amonkhet, after the complaints of having full art lands in every set, and masterpieces in every set, Ixalan came and, let's say, didn't do nothing. There's Twilight Prophet. During that time, it was an expensive card. I think it was around $8 to $10. Wasn't the best mythic card in terms of value, but nowadays, that particular card, it's around $25, $30. And I still have that copy in my collection. Being released after Amonkhet, after all the complaints and all the things that came after Amonkhet, this set didn't do nothing at all. Was quite played in standard, there were a couple of cards, especially Curious Obsession, cards like Recurring Phoenix. So those were quite played in standard and successful, but nothing else. And nowadays, because of, let's say, a very relative low print run compared to the standard, this set became quite important in terms of collecting and investing. And if you have some, let's say, some extra money, I would suggest buying a sealed box of Rivals of Ixalan, because I think by time these boxes will continue to go up in price. I think we are last 4 packs to open. Sphinx Decree, last 4 packs to open. Nothing special there. I think 3 packs left. This is the second one. Let's see what we can pull from here. What do we have? Path to Discovery. Nothing special. Nothing in the uncommon slot. And I think this is the last pack. Yes, this is the last pack. Let's see what we can pull from here. Last pack. Something nice, something not nice. There's a foil uncommon. And there's the Dire Fleet Poisoner. So that was the last, let's say, the last rare card pulled from this particular box. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed watching a nice box opening of Rivals of Ixalan. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.